Und erneut herzlich willkommen, meine Damen und Herren, zum
Once
Präventions-TV.
again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Prevention TV or the German Prevention Congress. We're going to talk once again about the 27th German Prevention Congress, and now we're particularly focusing on children in the focus. For many years, so for our focus topics, we have published reports, extra reports, expert opinions for this year topic. So then the children in the focus. So we had then expert Professor Gina Hollingen. We are going to listen to a summary of the statement, and on top of that, based on the information or the different expert opinions, different reports, there's always the release of regulation of the 27th German Prevention Congress together with its partner organizations, and Claudia Heinzmann is going to present this declaration that you can also then download from our website. Thank you.
Die Kindheit gehört zum Menschsein dazu. Und dennoch
So childhood belongs to humanity, but there is no real concept about childhood. It's a social structure as in terms of the age, but also then the behavior of children. Children in the focus of prevention. This is the most important focus of the 27th German Prevention Congress. And things have changed. And so before we were particularly talking about children's crime, but today actually we are talking about particular protection concepts and projects in order to improve life quality of children. This year, the German Prevention Congress had a particular challenge, and so they wanted to release an expert opinion in terms of a good, successful development of children's rights as a sexualized violence against children. These are all topics that you can find and then in the different researches, and then you're going to see also the reports in order to have a very good prevention in the future. But the first thing is that to listen to children. So every time as I go to my school by bike, I think there should be more security and safety for children. I think that children at the age of 14, maybe they should maybe then vote, maybe not vote, but maybe they should also participate. I think that children should be protected a bit more. So sometimes when they do something bad. And also that I think in schools that we need also to have a protection, and I think that we have to have a different kind of protection concepts and projects. And I think that each person thinks that it's important to have their own lesson groups. I think that children should have should do things that they like, just like in terms of hobbies. So the German Prevention Congress and the permanent event partners, DPT Programme Polizeiliche Kriminalprävention, the federal states and Weißer 4th and 5th October 2022. An over declaration of the 27th German Prevention Congress. Children in the focus of prevention. The 27th German Prevention Congress 22 focused its debate on the current life situation of children and this question of what and how more can be done to ensure that the growing generation grows up healthy and free of violence. Prevention is most effective when it starts as early as possible, not only during the current crisis, but also before. The concerns of children were not given enough attention by society. With its focus, the German Prevention Congress, together with permanent partners, emphasizes that prevention work with children and for children offers the best chances of success for building and maintaining a crisis-proof and violence-free democratic society. The key points that are particularly relevant in this regard are summarized compactly in this Hanover Declaration on the 27th DPT. The background to these demands is explained in detail in the Excel reports on the German Prevention Congress. The rights enshrines the in the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child have not been comprehensively implemented in Germany. There is also no anchoring of children's rights in the basic law. In institutions for children, rights and protections concepts must be developed in a participatory manner. This represents a sustainable organizational change process to secure children's rights. Further research on the success factor of protection concepts is necessary to determine the conditions for success. The fundamental promotion of children's life skills, general life skills, self-efficiency, experiences, etc., is also essential with regard to the prevention of violence and crime and needs to be significantly intensified in the area of universal prevention. Measures that are given to the entire age group seem to have a broad effect here, whereby the approach based on the resources of the children is considered to be particularly effective. Early support should be targeted at avoiding risk factors and strengthening protective factors. Special attention is paid to the sensitive phases of development. Within the framework of selective prevention, preventive measures can be developed in a differentiated and concrete manner if already existing protective factor and possible risk factors in children's living environment are recognized. Measures of indicated prevention require a consistent focus on the resources and deficits of the individual child or individual group and intensive scientific monitoring. Preventive measures should, if possible, encompass all the children's living environments, the home, school, and leisure areas, and involve the person primarily involved. A moderated approach to the digital world appears to be a special field of action. In the context of relationship prevention, favorable framework conditions for successful development must be also created, for example, through legal regulations for the protection of children. There are also fundamental research desiderata with regard to the data situation on violence against children, both in intra-family and extra-family contexts. The German Prevention Congress expressly supports the long-standing demand for the introduction of monitoring of the dark field. Moreover, there is still a lack of sufficient reliable knowledge about the effectiveness of preventive measures. Therefore, impact studies must be financially supported. At the same time, incentives must be created to encourage a targeted use of concepts that have been tested for effectiveness. Children are not responsible for their own protection, which is why prevention of sexual violence primarily means education and knowledge for adults. Children must be taught that they have the right to decide on their own about their bodies and to represent their boundaries. Children should be able to experience this right in their everyday lives, and it should be exemplified by the adults around them. It is important that they know who they can turn to when they need help. For healthy growing up and development of independent and self-confidence personality, no controls are needed, but freedom and trust on the part of the adults. In the view of the influence of the measures to contain the COVID-19 pandemic on the development of children, the German Prevention Congress recommends, on the one hand, the targeted support of the particularly affected disadvantaged pupils. Adequate staffing of schools is essential for this. On the other hand, the introduction of long overdue reforms is also indispensable, such as the reduction and rebalancing of curriculum content and the fundamental orientation towards the promotion of the joy of learning as a pedagogical leitmotif. So I would like to wish all the best, for all the different presentation practice and impulses. So please then stay tuned and see you next week. Stay healthy. Bye bye.